I am wrapping up a little bit of tabby weave on the bottom of my loom here, and then I am going to show you how to remove your weaving from the wooden loom. I'll remove it in one video, and then I will show you how to take care of the selvage, the sides, all those loose pieces that you have hanging off to the side. That'll be a separate video that you can watch. And you'll want to watch that so that you know how to take care of those. Otherwise, they'll just fray off, or they could kind of unravel because they're not tied, they're not anchored into anything. Also, in a subsequent video, I will show you how to put a bar on the top and bottom and add a little bit extra fringe at the bottom. Let me kind of speed through the rest of this, and then I'll be back in a moment. All right, I'm ready to turn my loom over, and I'm going to take the cross piece of yarn that I tied on the back initially, and I'm going to give it a snip and cut it right in half. Then I'm going to choose one of those ends that I cut, and that will be the first part of what I begin to tie. So I'm going to cut one warp string, and then I'm going to tie that warp string together with the warp string, that diagonal warp string that I just cut. I'm going to take them, carefully turn it over to the front side so I can see the good side of my weaving, and tie them not once, but twice. So 2 times. So I tie it once, and then again to lock it in. I don't want to pull it too tight to disturb the weaving, but I do want to tie it so it's locked in place. Now you can see the other half of that warp string that's still exposed. I'm going to go to the very next warp string, and then I will have 2 warp strings to be able to tie together. So I will take these 2, turn my loom over, and again carefully tie once, and then one more time. Don't pull it too tight. You don't want to squish all of your hard work together and make it too tight. It's spaced nicely right now, so we don't want to ruin that. All right, so there's my next warp string that was cut, and I'm going to cut the next one. So you're really only cutting one string at a time. Some weavers will cut it all off at once, but unfortunately, if you do that, you run the risk of your weaving coming out. So usually, if you're just starting out and learning how to weave, you just do one warp string at a time for simplicity's sake. And you cut one more. You can kind of see I'm going to keep turning back and forth, flipping as I go, cutting one string at a time and double tying them. And then you'll do this over the course of your entire weaving. So I'm getting close to the end here, and as I approach the edge of my loom, I want to be really careful with these warp strings and make sure that the weft is actually falling into the proper location. So carefully finish up the last 2 ties. So we'll tie once on the bottom and once on the top after I take the loom off. So here's where, like I said, be real careful because you don't want anything to unravel at the edge here. So finish up tying this last one and the top one, and then join me in our next video where I show you how to take care of all of those unsightly pieces to the side or anything that is just kind of unruly hanging out on the back, just to kind of clean the entire thing up and make it presentation worthy.